In today's topic, we will going to discuss about the F-22 mystery. Why the USA is not selling its own allies. That includes the NATO, Israel, Japan or Australia or the others to sell the F-22 Raptors. What is the reason behind it? Why they are not selling it? Why they stopped the productions of this aircraft? Why even the United States Air Force is not even acquiring the further aircraft? What is the reason behind it? So that that already has been raised. We will going to discuss this topic with some questions that already has been raised by some experts, and we will going to discuss in details in our topics. And let's start with some introductory note. The F-22 is one of the crown of the America's weapon system. It is the best fifth generation's air superiority jet. Being the stealthy, the F-22 have incredible technologies in an highly maneuverable supersonic platform. But the aircraft is very strange in the certain regards. Why this is very strange? The reason behind of being strange that will be our focal point, and that USA is not selling that aircraft to his own allies and shut down that productions of the aircraft for himself and for the others. The US Congress has put the ban on selling. They detached the Lockheed Martin to the program that is called the F-22 Raptor. So there are so many reasons that why the USA is doing so. So let's start about some discussion point which is regarded about the a great fighter and some specification related to that fighter. And F-22 was introduced in 2005 when the USA was fighting the two front war against the Iraq and Afghanistan. An F-22 Raptor was intended to replace the vulnerable F-15 Eagle. And F-15 Eagles is one of the jewel. It is also an air superiority fighter jet. But but USA wants to replace it because of his age-old versions. They have already invented the newer versions of the F-15 Eagle, that is F-15EX. That is not stealth, but the F-22 is stealth. But that still America is not purchasing that aircraft. An F-22 Raptor, being an air dominance and the multi-roller fighter, it is supersonic fifth generation stealthy fighter. It is it is only the supersonic stealth generation fighter and the fifth generation fighter. None of the other countries in the world have this stealthy technology for the aircraft. The China has tried to build the the Russia has tried to build the Russia has already tried to build in the form of Su-57. The China in the form of J-20B. They are not stealthy aircraft. But only the United States have the stealthy aircraft, but they still wants to abandon these projects. And it combines the advanced technologies such as the sensor fusions to produce the superb situational awareness. And its airframe is highly maneuverable and the super cruise or the fly at the supersonic speed without the use of the afterburners. And the F-22 is great in the dogfight because it has thrust vectoring capabilities. And some of the Russian fighters also have the thrust vectoring capabilities, but this is the fighter being the fifth generations also have the thrust vectoring capabilities. And its two engine has specifically designed the nozzles at their end and that can move on vertical plane to vector the aircraft's 70,000 pounds of thrust in one direction even if the aircraft is heading in the another. Thus, this engine capabilities allows to do it impressive aerobatics as well as the leverages an extremely high angle of attacking during a within visual range engaged mid, that is dogfight. And F-22 is quite versatile when it comes to the armament it can carry. The F-35 cannot carry this much of weapons. The Raptor can carry two AIM-9 Sidewinder heat-seeking air-to-air missiles and the six AIM-120 AMRAAM radar-guided missiles. For the close air support or the precision strike missiles, the F-22 can carry 2,000 pounds GBU 32 JDAMs or the 8 250 pounds small diameter bombs. In the additions to pair of the both AIM-9S and AIM-120S, in all of these loadouts, the aircraft M61A2, the 20 mm cannon with 480 rounds, ensured a fearsome foe in the dogfights. It is an excellent aircraft. It can carry the huge number of weapons that F-35 cannot carry. It's only F-35 is only capable or good to do the ground attack, not the air-to-air attack. The equally important, it can carry all the aforementioned munitions within its three internal weapon bays. The meaning that the aircraft does not sacrifice any stealth to carry all that firepower. Not any weapon is exposed to the outside. So it is an excellent stealthy aircraft. In comparison, the America's other stealthy fighter jet F-35 can only carry the four weapons in its two internal bays. It's basically the out of questions that why the F-22 Raptor is being forsaken by the United States. And the next one is the whether the F-22 Raptor is an lucky or an unlucky aircraft. We have to discuss this point critically because according to me, this jet is equally lucky and unlucky because its technology is so precious and it is not being shared by the USA, so its technology would not be stolen by the countries like the China and the Pakistan or the Russia, which is the adversaries of the USA. USA do not want to give anything free to the Russia. And although the Pakistan is a very minor player, Pakistan cannot even sell the tire of the F-22 Raptor. They are very much unstable. Pakistan is very much unstable country. They are the terrorist states. They are like Afghanistan. And these aircraft is seriously should not be for precise of the world should not be sold for the world's sake. If it will go into the hands of the wrongdoers, then it will be disaster for the world. The unlucky one, because the United States Air Force initially decided to acquire 750 of the F-22 Raptor, but later they only acquired the 186. Among 186, only 130 is operational, and it is facing an extinction because the new ones is not coming. They have stopped the productions of the further of this aircraft. Although the USA still have 100 and F-22s combat ready at any given time, but why they are not making it for their own? So that is very expensive. Another reason is this airplane is very expensive in comparisons to the other aircrafts, and it is very costly to maintain. The USAF initially that I have already said they decided to buy the 750 and they are not buying it now. So the next one is now now the the main question is why USA is not ready to sell this bird. That's still the mystery, but the some reasons will be discussed in this topic that will going to be elaborated. Over the years, the Australia, Japan, and the various other countries like the Japan and I already said the Japan, the Korea and the Israel had repeatedly asked the Pentagon about the potential purchase of every time it was being shot down by the US Congress. And even in the 1998 US Congress even voted for an amendment that explicitly for the birds the sale of the F-22 Raptors to the foreign countries. They banned the selling of the Raptor by amending something in their in their through their US Congress, through their senates and the Congress. So it is out of the questions why they are not selling it. There are some hidden reasons, and I think that Bard is using some technology that can be hampered the world peace. or the something illegal they are using, because USA is the dollar hungry country and the Raptor is very expensive. It is a dollar generating machine. Why it is not been designed to export, that is beyond someone's imaginations. And so much thinking about this jet only leads to the unsustainable, meaningless conspiracy theories. Nothing else will come out. Or there are some valuable reason, because the Russia and the China eager to steal the technology, stealth technology. That is why they are also not selling it. USA always made the huge mistakes by in the geopolitics. That is one of the biggest reasons. They always made the biggest mistakes in the geopolitics. The Iran is still flying the America's F-14 Tomcats that the Shah had bought before the Iran revolutions. The communist Venezuela also have the F-16s it bought in the 1980s. The Chinese highly capable J-10 is F-16's replica, and the China is very good in stealing and the copying. They always made the inferior goods, but they are good in copying and the stealing. The F-16's related technologies was exported to the Israels. Then the Israel sold it to the China. By those technologies the China made the J-10. So why, how would United States will going to believe the other countries, other allied countries of his? But USAF wants to sell it. But the USA is still trying to find the export feasibility through the Freedom of the Information Act. The Pentagon did entertain the idea of exporting the most advanced fighter jet at the time. Several Air Force officers conducted the studies with the different variables on what such an export program would look like. And although the Congress never authorized it, so the USA is still in dilemma whether they should sell it or not. Because this is a precious weapon, and that according to them cannot be exported. And they got this technology from somewhere unknown, because they have highly advanced space program. Let's this topic go, and its illusions within the conspiracy theory. It's just an illusions and the conspiracy theory. In the conclusions, we can say that according to me, the JT is equally lucky and the unlucky. And in the conclusive, being the conclusive towards this topic, that we should let it go. We should let this topic go, because it will going to dig into the conspiracy theories more and more. So let's start with the questions. Today's questions. Today's question is, what is the price of the F-22 Raptor? There are four options have been given. These options are A 230.5 million, 231.6 million, 212.8 million, and D is 232.5 million. You can give me the answers in the comment sections, or if you have any query or any questions regarding this topic, you can ask me if you wants to through my email address that I have already been provided. So thank you very much. Thank you for listening.